Well, good morning and welcome back to Hazel Bell Farm. This video is about how we use one Surge brand milking machine to milk 2 cows. So right now I'm milking 2 cows. This is Dolly, a Holstein. She gives me between 4 and 5 gallons on once a day milking. First I have to get her all cleaned up. We use iodine and chlorhexidine to do that. Strip out the beginning milk, and then I am ready to milk her. So I get the machine all going and running. It has a pulsator on the top. That's very important as you are choosing a milk machine for your dairy animals, that it has a pulsator that mimics the motion that a calf would have when it is feeding, or that your hands would have. So there's not a continuous vacuum that would really ruin their teats. So once we get milking, you kind of see how this works. This part's pretty boring, thankfully. I just have to kind of sit back and let the machine do its work. And Dolly eats. She's happy, I'm happy. Now I use these plugs in the inflations of the machine. So they come off one at a time, and as they come off, I plug them so that the other inflations that are still connected don't lose vacuum. Once they lose pressure, they will fall off onto the ground, and nobody wants that. So after I'm done milking Dolly, she's out there finishing her feed, I come in, I rinse those plugs because now they have milk on them, and then they go into a bucket of stearamine. Stearamine is like a food grade bleach. It is what restaurants use to clean their equipment. It's what we also use to sanitize and disinfect the machine after we wash it with soap. Then the inflations go into that stearamine. I'm not running it through the lines. I'm just cleaning off the inflation. That's the part with the cups and the suction that touches the cow. Then I'm going to pour off the milk that I got from the first cow, that was Dolly, into a stock pot. So this is what I'm using as a bulk tank. My Surge bucket there holds 5 gallons. And on this day, I got just about 5 gallons. That's 8.5 pounds per gallon. So it's pretty heavy. I can't pour that into jars right away because it is too heavy. So it goes into the tank where I can then pour it off later. You'll see that later. So you see I give those inflations a good swish, a good rinse. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm about to use this machine for a second cow. If the first cow has a staph issue on her skin, I don't want that to spread to the second cow. Now this isn't an issue that I've had. This is purely a preventative measure. I think it's a wise move I've started to do, just as one more precaution to keep everybody's udders healthy and happy. So this is Willow. This is the second cow. So I have rinsed that machine, just the inflations and the plugs. After Dolly milks, there she goes back to her baby. Now he gets the other half of her milk for the whole day. So same thing, got to clean her up. Now the difference with this particular cow is that she makes pretty much all of her milk in her 2 back quarters. That's where the 2 back teats are. So I only milk her using 2 inflations at a time. One of the front ones is a little narrower than the other 3, and so there's some slippage that happens, and that messes up the other inflations. So 2 at a time really works for her. She's also giving less than that first cow, so it doesn't take quite as long. And she has really poor ligament attachment in her udder, and because of that, she gets a little bit of udder massage and some bumping that sort of mimics what a calf would do as they're eating. They kind of headbutt Mama's udder to get her to let down milk. She gets that in a much gentler way with my hands. And then I pull them off and move them over to the front teats as they are finished. And because those lines are clear, I can see when they're finished. The same thing, I'm going to pull them off one at a time, plug them with the plugs, and then she will also get one last disinfecting wash. She gets an iodine dip all at the end because she is not feeding a calf, and that dip will help protect the openings of her teats until they are closed for the day. So after the second cow, same thing. I'm going to come in. This time I'm not worried so much about keeping the inflations out of the water or anything. I'm just going to drop them right in the sink, remove the pulsator. This pulsator, you want to make sure you don't submerge it in any kind of water or my bucket of chlorhexidine or styramine or anything like that. So I'm careful to set that off to the side. And then the lid and the inflations get a good rinse before I move on. I want to do that to help prevent buildup of milkstone. And then I take a clean paper towel or a clean washcloth, whatever I have handy there, to wipe the top of the bucket, and then hold the bottom of the bucket for pouring off into that same bulk tank. So there you can see, I think I got 7 gallons on this particular day, or just about. And then I can, this is me rinsing my machine. I'm not giving it a full wash yet because I want to get that milk jarred up and chilled as quickly as possible for maximum flavor. So just that rinse. So each cup, each line gets a good rinse. And then I can move on to cleaning my workspace. And this is all done with that styramine solution, washing my hands. We want to make sure everything is nice and clean and disinfected before we work with our milk. So I have clean jars. I'm going to label my jars with the date. And then I do not take the risk of pouring that big stock pot into that little funnel. So that funnel gets a one-time use disposable filter. It's pretty much like paper. And we are straining the milk. I use a 2.5 cup measuring cup to be able to do that. It's just the right size that fits down into that surge bucket. And this is it. That's pretty much what I do. Grabbing jars, labeling them with the date, and then pouring milk. So that's it. That's how I use one surge machine for milking 2 different cows with more volume than the bucket will hold. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. If you did, would you please like and subscribe? And I will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Hello. Come on out. Have a good day. Come over there. You gotta go, baby. Come on, Willow. Go. There you go. Good girl. Atta girl. Thank you. A little bit more. A little bit more. Willow, move, baby. You gotta move over. I can't shut the gate. What do you want, Mama? All right, there we go. Thank you. I'll come love you later.